We are still recapping the first round of the NFL draft. And on this part two of the recap, we got to talk about how the Atlanta Falcons stole the show in the first round, plus all other teams between 17 and 32. Y'all know me and Steve are going to talk about it and break it down right after this.
Welcome to your number one spot for all NFL news and content, NFL Central.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back into another episode of NFL Central, your number one spot for everything NFL. I'm your host here, Bobby, joined by Stevo. What's the word, my guy?
What's good? What's good?
But hey, if y'all tuned in with us today, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell as well. Stevo, man, I feel like we just get bad. A lot of action at that back half of the first round, man. Yesterday we talked about 1 through 16. Now it's time to talk about 17 through 32. 17 kicking off with the Cincinnati Bengals. And they took Shamar Stewart, and then the Seattle Seahawks took Gray Zabriel, and then Tampa Bay Bucks took Emeka Ibuka. You could start out which direction you want to go with those three. But how you feeling about how that back half of the first round kicked off?
I mean, we told the Bengals it was in their best interest to get an edge. We just didn't tell them what edge we did tell them what edge they should look at. But they had other choices, they had other directions, and they went for the combine star, Shamar Stewart. And if everybody know, he had a hell of a performance in the combine. He hit a press of 40 time, bench press, vertical, shuttle, D lineman drills. He did his thing, and I think that's what got him up to this 17th pick. But like you said, if we've said previously, if you turn on the tape, he wasn't the best edge out there, and there was a lot of things to work on. And he's definitely one of those project edges on your team, but he has NFL size, NFL type athleticism, 6'5", 267. Glad to see him that he was able to shred some weight because he did hover around that 280, 270 in college. So he showed that he's disciplined and he showed that he could work. But yeah, I think this was the if I could say one of the reaches of the draft, I would say getting him at this 17 spot, but they did have to address the edge, so I ain't too upset about it.
Yeah, I ain't too mad about it either, but I just say, man, look, I understand that guys and Mike Green got some things going on off the field that you might not necessarily want to touch or entertain. But guess what? You took Shamar Stewart and your division rival took Mike Green. So now what it's gonna come down to? Because I know one guy who we don't know how these players are gonna play in the NFL, but I do know one guy, at least to me in my evaluation. Mike Green looks like he's more NFL ready. We always tell people don't fall in love with the workout, go with what the tape tells you, marry the tape with what the stats tell you. And I'm not saying Shamar Stewart can't come into this NFL and be very, very productive, but I still got my questions about it because I know the guy that's productive went to the division rival in the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati
And
Bengals. I hope it works out for him.
they already significantly better than y'all, so that was a blow. Like that's just
Yeah.
a blow to take. Like they got an already significantly better line than y'all. They just beefed it up, adding him. And the offense, y'all, we already know what it is. So yeah, they gonna be kicking themselves in a couple years, in my opinion, based off this. But hey, hopefully it works out for them.
For sure. And then Gray Zabriel to the Seattle
I love
Seahawks.
that pick.
I think that was a perfect pick for the Seattle Seahawks. Emeka Ibuka was an interesting one, but I'm not necessarily mad at it. Me personally, I feel like, hey, y'all could have went and got Luther Burden, but nonetheless, y'all see the C on that hat. I appreciate y'all for going to get Emeka Ibuka over Luther Burden.
Not for sure. I was a little shocked by it. I didn't think necessarily they was gonna get a wide receiver. Now that's a lot of people saying they don't think it's smart. I mean, I think it's still pretty smart to go get a wide receiver.
Oh yeah.
They saying, well, it look like Mike Evans is gonna get another 1,000 yards. Yeah, but he can older. So you also got to think of his replacement as well as Chris Godwin gets hurt every year. So you also got to think about that. So yeah, I think it was good. I think I wouldn't have chose Emeka Ibuka. I think he was a little bit early as well, but I'm not mad at him getting it. it was a solid pick.
for sure. Jade Barron, cornerback out of Texas, going to the Denver Broncos. What a hell of an addition that
Yeah,
they
they
added.
needed another one.
And then the Pittsburgh Steelers electing not to draft a quarterback. Like it's understood, but
I
this
hate it's one of those because I really like Derek. Derek, out of everybody, like when it came to the defense, if I had to point my finger, it was him and Jordan. Him and Jordan was the and Derek. They was the main one when it came to that defense on Oregon. They was the main factor. So I like Derek Harmon a lot, and he's gonna turn into a monster. And for him to learn and sit behind and play next to Cameron Hayward is gonna do wonders. But like I said. Y'all another organization where y'all know how to draft quality D linemen. Y'all know what y'all needed, and so I just felt like y'all going on a whisper or a handshake deal with Aaron Rodgers got to be the thing that they're holding their breath on, which is still stupid to me because you still need to go for the future. I know they have this whole thing saying like maybe they didn't feel like they wanted to turn around and do the same thing they did with Kenny Pickett, but to me, Kenny Pickett and Shador are just two different type of quarterbacks. One did significantly better in a way. I've with the Breeze. Me and the Breeze looked at because we was watching Jordan Addison tape. I never liked Kenny Pickett. I didn't like him as a thrower. I didn't understand why they drafted him that year. So if they're allowing pass, I think that's more of a problem on y'all scouting department that y'all feel more comfortable to go get him. But shouldn't took what happened in the past and placed it on just because you didn't on another quarterback that you felt like was similar because to me, they might have some similarities, but one did a significant more contributor and have a big enough impact at where they came from in Colorado versus what he did at Pitt.
did they somehow forget though?
Go ahead, but
Did
go
the
keep going.
like if we talking about things that the Pittsburgh Steelers wanted to think about that happened in the past, did you somehow forget that Aaron Rodgers had home field advantage his last 3 seasons in Green Bay, and somehow he sat up there and got his ass sent home each and every single time, and how his playoff runs followed by certain MVP trophies that was given to him, those playoff runs resulted in him getting sent home early and not living up to expectations? Did we somehow forget that? Because at the end of the day, if the Pittsburgh Steelers want to sit up there and base everything off things that happened in the past, Aaron Rodgers, when he was getting up out of Green Bay, he got sent home. Now we're gonna give him credit for bouncing back after the Achilles injury, but we know the expectations that was placed on him in the New York Jets uniform, and guess what happened? He underachieved. So if the Pittsburgh Steelers want to come out with this, oh my God, I remember what happened with Kenny Pickett. Did we somehow forget what happened with Aaron Rodgers? Let's be real about it. So I understand, and I'm not mad at the Derek Harmon selection earlier in the draft, but then at the same point, when you come back around and the quarterback of the future is still on the board for the taking, you still pass up on him and go get Will Howard? Keep it a buck. Keep it a buck. And it's going to be a bunch of bozos that come in here and try to tell about some, oh my God, he's a national. I don't care. I don't care. Like, he's not better than Shador. He had the better overall team.
It'd be very hard to be good when you pay $20 million for that whole team. I'm just saying.
Come on now. Like, so
If you're gonna bring up Will Howard, if I'm not mistaken, he wasn't always at OSU, or
that's a
yeah, he
fact.
wasn't always at Ohio State. Look at where he was at elsewhere.
That's a fact. That's a fact. But then, hey, we move on to the other teams in the draft. You had the Chargers pick up Omarion Hampton. The Green Bay Packers pick up Matthew Golden. And then the Vikings continue to beef up their O-line. And they went and got Donovan Jackson.
That fucking
Take
pissed me
whichever
off.
one you want to take right there, bro.
That pissed me off. See the mindset I thought we was gonna have was gonna be similar to Vikings. I thought we were just gonna build up the trenches, but yeah, I can't fault them for doing that. That's their way of doing. What they feel like they had to do. He was one of the best available options. Was good. I like it. Omarion Hampton. They do need another running back. Now, did I think he was gonna go at 21? Not necessarily. I thought he's possibly gonna slide into the second round. I didn't think two running backs was gonna go in the first. But yeah, I'm not mad at it. And then Matthew, I think that was a duh. Like for one, definitely didn't expect Matthew to slide all the way to 23. I was kind of frustrated that it did happen because I'm like, you leaving it to too many people that we play against, and then for him to go to our division rival, yeah, I ain't like that. So it's a good choice on their end.
Yeah, it's a good choice on their end because we keep telling all these Green Bay Packers fans because they Green Bay Packers fans had some wild belief that they had 4 wide receiver number ones, which was absolutely ridiculous. And we told them straight to their face, y'all don't have 4 wide receiver ones. Let's keep it a buck. You
I
got a bunch
barely
of
got a
twos and
one.
a bunch of threes. And I like Jaden Reed. He's a monster. I love him. But y'all ain't had no number one. So you absolutely had to go and draft Matthew Golden to help solidify your wide receiver room because your own running back in Josh Jacobs, Green Bay, told you we need a wide receiver number one. So now y'all can pipe down just a little bit until we see it on the field. I'm always find a way
Facts.
to talk smack to Green Bay, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'm telling you. And that still was one of the most shitty. I ain't never, bro. That was the first draft day that I only see one stage.
Bro.
That shit was pitiful. And y'all was in that bitch full attendance every 3 days. But y'all ain't had shit else to do. All the carnivals was shut down for the goddamn draft.
Hey, but then after the Vikings selected, the New York Giants traded back into the first. We're like, hold on, y'all about to take Shador? No, they took Jackson Dart. How you feeling about that, brother? That's how you feeling about that. I got you.
If you want to sit here and work yourself up and trick yourself up and hype yourself up to believing this dude is gonna be the QB of the future when this motherfucker struggles to hit 10-yard passes and plays like a blittering idiot that he think he Cam Newton, taking ill-advised hit, won't go out of bounds, dive trying to jump over motherfucker. Like
Hey,
I said, the dude ain't like the. I'll be lying to say Jackson don't have talent. He has talent. He has, if not, probably the second best arm in his terms of strengths, I should say, terms of arm strength in this draft. But when it comes to IQ, reading, it's gonna be a hell of a project. And what to me, where I came from with it, Dabo was like, "Who in this motherfucker look like Josh Allen the most?"
there you go. But hey, Stevo, I ain't gonna lie to you. I agree with everything you said because there's absolutely going to be a learning curve for the New York Giants getting Jackson Dart ready to play NFL football. You talked about some of those unnecessary hits. This man almost lost his whole cranium in one of the hits he took.
In a
This man,
helicopter.
I'm surprised the man was still able to continue on throughout the season with some of those hits that he said. But you want to know what's the most funniest thing and why I'm like, it's going to be a learning curve for this player? John Gruden asked Jackson Dart to show him his snap count.
He couldn't do it.
That's the snap count, guys. That's the snap count. One clap, and if John Gruden's like, hold on, no, seriously, tell me your snap count.
That
He
nigga said
clapped
pump fake.
again.
He did a pump fake.
What are we doing? Is this high school? No. Welcome to the big leagues. But hey, good luck to the young fella. He is a very talented guy. But hey, we'll see what they can do. We'll see what they
James
can
is
do.
gonna be that boy daddy, basically. Look
Hey,
here, son. You gotta tell me he gonna be on that motherfucker with the dry erase board every night. That's what y'all
real.
need.
Facts. And then at 26, the Atlanta Falcons come in to steal round one of the draft. After selecting Jalen Walker at 15, they trade back into the first round and get James Pierce Jr. to add 2 young pass rushers that they absolutely needed, bro. I think they absolutely stole the first round because you got 2, in my opinion, they got to prove themselves, but you got 2 really good pass rushers that can rush the passer. Obviously, they're going to have to bulk up and put up some weight, but you get a versatile guy in Jalen Walker, and then you get a guy that has shown he can produce against top talent. He did that at Tennessee. You grab him at James Pierce. You grab James Pierce Jr., bro. But then y'all didn't let the Baltimore Ravens just come in and snatch up Malachi Stark's safety out of
Best
Georgia.
safety in the damn draft.
Come on, bro. Come on, bro. And they ain't even talking about what and then y'all done let him go get Mike Green. Come on, y'all done let the damn Baltimore Ravens get Malachi Starks and then get Mike Green. Look out, bro. Look out for that defense. And they always strong on the defensive side. Just look out for the
Yeah, but you
Baltimore
could
Ravens.
tell like
Stay at the top.
it was a noticeable difference last year. I think
Oh
this
yeah.
year that's exactly what they missed. Another game changer on that edge, and then somebody in that back. They didn't have nobody really that could turn the ball over.
Yeah,
They needed a ball hawk.
for sure. And then that round, kind of getting closer to the back end of the first round, you got the Detroit Lions selecting Tyleik Williams out of Ohio
I didn't
State.
understand that one.
Yeah, that was a hold on. What the?
I like. I mean, don't get me wrong. Y'all needed some D linemen, but y'all didn't necessarily need a D tackle. I feel like it was so a bevy of other things they needed instead
That
of
was
that.
their opportunity to grab a Mike Green.
Yeah, I was scared.
Mike Green is a Dan Campbell type of guy.
I was petrified he was about to get him.
Would you say that Mike Green is a Dan Campbell type of guy, like just off the rails crazy when it comes to playing football?
Yes,
I don't know.
that's why I'm like I'm glad he in Baltimore because we ain't got to deal with his ass. But ooh,
Hey, we'll take it. Get him out the whole division. Here you talking about?
that's what I said. I was like, if we don't get him, please don't let him be in our division.
Yeah, bro. And then just the last four teams, bro. I think they all got really, really
Smart,
good
smart,
picks
smart. Just
because
smart, smart, smart.
Josh Connolly goes to the Commanders. Maxwell Harrison goes to Buffalo.
Needed a
Jahad
corner.
Campbell is a Philadelphia Eagle. My goodness, they keep cheating. And Josh
Literally.
Simmons goes to Kansas City. They rounded off this first round
And this
spectacularly.
motherfucker gonna be their tackle for the future. That's a left tackle for the next 10 years.
Oh,
Easy.
yeah, they're going to make sure he right. They're going to make sure Josh Simmons is right over there in Kansas City. But my thing is that y'all let Jahad Campbell slide all the way to 31. That's crazy work.
It's Malachi Starks, him, and James Pierce. I don't understand how they slid.
Yeah, because that's just unfair for a lot of teams. But when you got the good GMs in a building, they gonna make sure if you give them an opportunity to strike gold, they gonna strike gold, bro. Because now you got Jahad Campbell, who's definitely the best linebacker in this draft. Now you line him up with Zach Bond on that young defense that's already good with all that young talent, and you ain't chucking up a lot of money. My goodness, just look out and get ready. Just get ready, bro. Just get ready.
It's gonna be a hell of a thing.
On the real. But hey, that rounds out the entire first round. Y'all know we broke some stuff down in the first 1 through 16 yesterday. Today we broke down 17 to 32. Now we go into more of the nuanced conversations moving forward. So y'all better get excited because there's definitely gonna be a lot of conversation out there. So that and it might ruffle some feathers, but I'm just letting you know. But it's coming down to some of our draft evaluations and some moves that these teams have made. So y'all just be on the lookout for that. But Stevo,
You've been warned.
though the real, you got anything left, bro?
Nah, man, we covered them all. It was a hell of a draft. Some crazy shit happened. Some shit that we didn't expect happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what happens when it's an NFL draft.
That's it. That's all. But hey, man, that is it from us today. We appreciate y'all. Make sure before you get up out of here, you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And shout out to all our people that flowed on over and hit that subscribe button. Make sure y'all go ahead and keep on supporting the channel. We trying to get this thing to skyrocket. But nonetheless, we appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all always love football. And y'all already know we're going to catch y'all on the next show.